Okay, I hope this works. I've had some technical issues today. Boom. Boom. Yep, it mentions I'm live. Okay. Boy, I've had some technical issues this morning. Morning, Joe. Good morning. My OBS blew up, and so I got on, and essentially, I mean, I guess I can delete that now. Safari wouldn't come on. But hit that thumbs up button. I've got it now. Let me put the live chat up. I got a lot to go over, too. Maybe stuff nobody wants to hear, but it's the nature of the beast. Cleveland Cliffs. Rebound. Even though it just got you out. Let's go to the scanner. I've got a lot to do today, too. Joe, I am replacing my Model 3 Air filters today. let me see if I can see it. Let's see. Amazon. Returns and orders. Ooh, somebody's ordering panties on my account. Here. Joe, I got 4 air filters. So you only need 2. Save 5% on 2 items. You can't do that. You apply a 10% coupon. This was $29.99 the other day. Let's go to Camel. Let's do this. Camel. And I'm scared to death, Joe, by the way, of doing this. But if you don't know Camel, this is a great. This was, what did I pay for this? View order. I think I paid $29.99. I was pretty sure I paid $29.99. Yeah, here, $29.99. So you get the 4-pack of Tesla air filters. You get the tool with the hex thing, and you get the little pry bar. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh. But listen, I looked at different, here, I'll send this to you. I'll put this in the description. I thought this was, and I just don't want to pay $80 to Tesla to do this, even though it's probably worth it compared to, from what I hear. Now, this toolbar isn't the greatest if you have hex stuff, and yes, and that's the 2018 is what I have. It's impossible. It's significantly easier in the updated versions. I think after 2020, but yeah, you have to take the side panel out, then you have to take the top panel out, and you have to make sure that those clips don't fall out and blah, blah, blah. Then you have to unscrew that thing with that hex thing. It ain't easy, and it's not going to be easy, but I thought it was interesting. I did sign a deal with Seeking Alpha yesterday, but I haven't used it. And so I'll the plan on, oh yeah, let's talk about Seeking Alpha. I'm going to put Seeking Alpha deal up front. Using Bum, 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 bum. There's the daily stock picks link tree. Let's see, is the pricing? Yeah, it's done. So it's back up to $780. Skip the trial, get it for $468. Bum, bum, bum. We'll keep that. This is home. We're gonna do this. I still haven't taken target out. Morning, Butch. Let's say we're gonna do the scanner here. Now, I don't know why. I tried the Webull desktop, and it's God, I love that Webull desktop, by the way. If you haven't signed up for Webull, sign up, because the desktop version is just so good. It's so smooth. I mean, it's even smoother, dare I say, than Trendspider. But OBS does not like it. So that's the issue. OBS does not like it at all. Okay, Etsy. I do own Etsy. VRTS. I mean, the only reason I got this, I think it was a spinoff from Pfizer. So I'm not going to put that in the scans just because it's nothing that I would go crazy for. Nothing in the core investments, covered call, ETFs. Nothing there. Energy names. We should have a few. Nope. Nothing. Levered ETFs. UMDD. And SDAO. Interesting, SDAO. Let's see, low cost Vanguard. Spider sectors. Nope, nothing there. Let's look at my not owned section. VFS. VinFast. See, it's got, this is what's happening with VinFast. Nice. That move up. VFS, we're going to put that in. Let's see. This, I have a new nothing in my algorithm on the Wolf. If we go up here, Money Crew weekly picks. So they pick a weekly group of stocks. In Trendspider. And what's interesting, they've got Enphase in here. So we they've got ARM in here. Groupon. Look at look at Groupon's performance. BVN, GXDU, which is the gold miners, which I've hated. VRT. Affirm. Boy, I don't know how you. Morning, Nevin. OSTK, Overstock. I mean, ever since they bought Bed Bath & Beyond, this has been a nightmare of a stock. VXX, FedEx. They like FedEx for the earnings. Exxon. You can see Exxon. I was pounding the table to buy Exxon 104, 103, Tesla 265. You're seeing that button hook. I think you're coming back down here to 250 to cover that gap. That would be my guess. If we just pull it back and see where traders are trading it, since it's high, you can see right here is the volume shelf. I mean, everybody's kind of in that 260, 265, which I think, there's a volume shelf there. It's nice. But I like this Money Crew weekly picks. It does seem like people are getting into these pick kind of things. It's a stock picker's market, I think. But let's scan. We're going to do the Dow. Dow Jones 30. Bum, 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 bum. I need to reach out to Trendspider and tell them, share my core portfolio. Wow. Disney to nearly double its investment in DPEP. $60 billion in its parks. Wow. That's kind of crazy to me. I mean, you have a debt problem and you're going to spend $60 billion in the parks? Nikola up 6 cents. Okay, why is this not scanning? Let's scan it again. The Dow 30 should not take this long, Trendspider, to actually scan. Boom, 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 boom. Let's look at FinViz. Let's look at some insiders. $25 million. Oof. BV had $14 million. Asana had a buy of $9 million. Let's see if it's done scanning. Nope. Morning, Brian. I haven't heard that phrase in a while. Welcome back. Let's make some money. Brian, if you're on Trendspider, by the way, in the upper right watch list, type in Money Crew Weekly Picks. I don't know if you've gotten Trendspider or not, but you particularly might like this. This is a weekly list. They're going to update supposedly Wolf Financial, which is a big crew. They're going to update it weekly in Trendspider now. So, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, core investments. Okay, Dow, nothing in the Dow. Let's look at the NASDAQ. I can't believe nothing in the Dow crossed. But NASDAQ 100. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, oofa. And if anybody with Trendspider, I will talk about it. But if you're on here and you have Trendspider, in the upper right-hand corner, I need to go to, let's go to Twitter. Because, let's see, profile. Do. Okay, that tweet right there. We're going to go to this one. I'll include it in the newsletter for you, Brian, too. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Nothing in the NASDAQ. Wow. NASDAQ, you sure? Wow. I thought Etsy was in the NASDAQ 100. Let's just make sure. I'd hate for me to have not hit scan, which I've done before and just moved on. But Brian, that Wolf Financial, they're heavy growth. I think they're semi-risky. But it kind of fits within what I think your wheelhouse might be, trading wise. So that weekly pick, I don't know that Wolf Financial. Again, I wouldn't pay for anything that anybody tells me about stocks, like giving me picks and stuff. If people are charging you for picks, that to me is they're going to make more money off of you than they will off of their actual picks. I mean, that's typically how this works. Is that somebody will, if they're charging you for a system, for a trading strategy, blah, 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 it's one thing. If they're charging you just for like Jim Cramer, a tech service, that's where you kind of got problems. But, yes, we'll lose any. Apple we're still out of. I mean, Apple's about to get a MACD cross up. Let's see. I tried to get, for you guys to know, I tried to get Webull so that I could show real-time charts and stuff, but I have not been able to get it. I've not been able to get it to work here on OBS, and I had significant issues with OBS this morning. But I'm just checking. Under 140. Boeing back at 205. Devon under 50. Lilly has had a few bad days, which hasn't happened this year. Hit the highs around 600. Did it get to 600? 601.84, and just bounced back. So you're almost 10% down. This gap, this earnings gap, I don't think the full gap will come into play. But I do like this one. At 500. Meta. Let's talk Meta. I never bought IONQ, but I saw, I think it's been capitulating. I never bought it because it was in such an uptrend. Now, the algorithm gets you out with a 12% gain, which is nice. 12% over what? Just under a month? Great move. You're outside of this ascending wedge. Control K. The MACD is kind of going down. The RSI is at 38. I don't know that I'd necessarily get into this one right now. Let's see. This is clearly a double top. If you want to call it that, we might be seeing a shoulder, a head, a shoulder if you really want to do that, which might bring it down to about 14. Disney, Brad Ferguson has started a position in Disney, and I trust that dude with his analysis. And Disney, in my mind, if they sell ABC and ESPN, it solves their problems. I mean, it 100% solves their problems. I don't think that they'll sell ESPN. I think they might license ESPN stuff, like they did with Penn National. I mean, they just got, $1 billion of basically free cash in order to just use the ESPN name on betting. So I'm sure there's something in the agreement that they can't launch a competing betting channel or anything. But let me check out mRNA. Moderna just got leveled yesterday. There's got to be some news before the market opens. Investopedia. Let's see. Investopedia usually has really good stuff. Continue reading. They don't mention Moderna. Window. History. Reopen. Closed. I want to show that one. I might get out of that. And 5 things to know before the market opens. What's Moderna doing and why is it doing it? I think it's just COVID. Rose 0.4%. Fuck you, Barons. Pre-market following declined more than 9% in the previous session after Pfizer's chief financial officer predicted weaker demand for COVID shots this year. Moderna was the worst performer in the S&P 500. Yeah, I mean, this is just there's no demand for COVID shots. And I don't want to say, listen, I'm immune, so I'm not. I just had it within the last 6 months. So Microsoft under 330. Do Netflix under 400. Nvidia got down significantly yesterday and wound up with a green candle. This was down at the low 436. It's trading at 438 right now. No, I'm sorry. The low was 420. Green. So, listen, in pre-market, it's down a little bit. I think 420 might be that bottom. That might be a good level. This line may, let's see, we may move this. Why do I not have the ability to move that? I don't know, but I'm not going to worry about it. Oxy is just, shit. Told you buy it under 60. Pan W is probably a $250 stock. I mean, it's kind of rolled over a little bit. Gotten out yesterday with a nice 10% gain with earnings in the middle of that. I like Roblox. Shopify under 60. I'm putting in my notes. Tesla might. remove this. Now, bye-bye. I'll see you later. I gotta go pee before I start the... Oh, I'm gonna delete that. Uber at 46. Okay. Okay, there's the core portfolio. Yeah, I mean, IONQ is listen, thank you, Brandon, for bringing that one up. I think it's a great option to trade once you have confirmation on it. But, okay, we're going to go SPY. I still like Starbucks, man. Okay. I've got so much to talk about. Okay, I'm going to delete all of these notes. Remove all annotations in SPY. And we'll do QQQ. And that just got you out. 2% gain on QQQ, which means a 6% gain on TQQQ. Okay. SPY, are you still in on SPY? I think you're still in on SPY in that trade. Nope, SPY got you out too with a loss. Ooh. Okay. Bump. Okay. I'll do that. Question. Okay. Maybe I should show the question, but nah. Okay. I'm going to start the podcast now because it's already freaking 9:30. Okay. Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 19th. And yesterday, thank you to a couple of folks reached out to me. I posted the wrong podcast on Spotify. I fixed it within probably 10, 15 minutes of me actually posting it. Thank you to everyone who reached out to me and told me about it. My apologies. My QC department is currently fired, which is me. You're fired, buddy. But I had a busy day yesterday, so I was kind of rushing and blah, blah, blah. I did sign a deal with Seeking Alpha. I will be doing a series with Seeking Alpha of an everyday investor using the Seeking Alpha premium tier to try and see, okay, let's use Seeking Alpha to have an everyday investor who's just kind of listening to the podcast. Let's see if they can use the tools in Seeking Alpha to actually find some stocks, trade some stocks, and understand some stocks. I will be doing supervisory of this, nothing more than supervisory. The person that I've picked will not be on the podcast, but I will be going over things that they've done and providing some feedback. But I will not be providing feedback until they have chosen the stock and things of that sort. And I will make them give me reasons using Seeking Alpha. So I think it'll be a good series. I think it's going to be a good partnership. I'm positive about it. I think it's like $180 a year or something like that. It's not a super amount. They do have some quant services, some AI services in there, and they really do go deep on stocks. So the premium one, I in my mind, I think it's the nice medium between Trendspider, which is a good investment. You know, if you've only got a beginner account and you want some type of fundamental understanding, because I think Seeking Alpha mixes fundamental with technical because they do have the charting. But I think it's going to be a good partnership. I'll go into it more, and I don't want to talk about too much about it until I actually have access, and they've said I can show it all on screen and things of that sort. So that was one of the sticklers that we were going over. Is I do a lot of live stuff, so I'm not going to edit crap out. But I like them. It was a great discussion with those guys, and I think it'll work out perfectly. And I think it's a great compliment to Trendspider. Those of you with Trendspider, you'll just have to make the determination of, I think Trendspider is my lead tool just because I think technical helps me. But I think it complements it well. And if you have Trendspider, I think Seeking Alpha will be a good complement to it. But you might not necessarily need it. I wanted it for the everyday investor who wants to buy and hold. So we got the markets open right now. Let's talk about SPY. We still don't have confirmation. Got you out of a trade yesterday, 0.04%. So I do see kind of downside. Now, here's the thing. Fed meeting is today. The press conference is tomorrow. The market has priced in that they will pause. We saw a pop last time when the market had it priced in for a pause. And when they paused, it popped. And then it immediately came back. So, again, I got the MACD kind of going down. You've got the RSI at 41.91. You're down 0.2% just in the market right now. I think, QQQ kind of the same thing. I mean, there's not – I continue to say we're choppy. We need some type of catalyst, either up or down, good news, bad news. There's always going to be good news and bad news in the market, but we need some type of catalyst. Maybe tomorrow's the catalyst. But you're in this traditionally weak portion of the markets, just seasonally. So until October, I think we may be range bound. And QQQ, you can see it got you out with a 2% gain. TQQQ got you out with a 3% gain. It kind of followed the same thing, but you're seeing the MACD cross down. The RSI is falling. This one's down 0.55%. If you wanted to buy it, I don't think you're doing yourself any disfavor by buying it. You're under the 50-day. You're going to go back over the 50-day on QQQ. These are long-term investments in SPY and QQQ. I don't expect you to trade them. If you wanted to trade them, trade the levered ETFs. And this brings me to kind of one of my the questions from Amy. I think it's Amy. Let me scroll down in my notes. Amy from Spotify asked, I just found your podcast on Friday. You mentioned a couple of times that the algorithm didn't work on a particular stock. Do you know what percentage of stocks it works or doesn't work on? Amy, thanks for the question. Thanks for listening. Welcome to the family. I don't know the percentage. So this is a good example of when it works and when it doesn't work. What you want in a stock in my algorithm, remember it's based on MACD. If you don't know MACD, just go to YouTube, type in MACD. You can look at Trading Rush is a great channel to watch the MACD stuff. He's got some great videos on MACD that he back tests and things like that. But my algorithm is based on the MACD. For the MACD, you want volatility. And that's where the algorithm helps you. The algorithm was developed right after COVID, where I said, I just lost 30%, 40% within a month of my because I didn't take quick enough action to trim, to get out. The world was shutting down. There was obvious news that the world was shutting down. We knew that the stock market was going to go down. We just didn't know how fast it was going to go back up. We didn't know if people were going to open things up. We just didn't know. So I wanted something to protect me from that huge downturn. And so we developed the algorithm, me and my buddy Steve. It's based in Trendspider. It's a MACD strategy, like I said. Here for the QQQ, over 2 years, the performance is 9.3%. If you bought and held the asset, you'd be up 2%. So it's 24.3 months. It's I do it over 1,000 candles. So it's just, you don't know which stocks. I haven't scanned, which stocks perform better on the algorithm. I will talk about it in a little bit, but maybe the new assistant, the new AI assistant in Trendspider might be able to do that for me. Just scan like the S&P and show me how many it actually works for better than buying and holding. But in something like a QQQ, where the algorithm gives you 9.3% over 2 years and just buying and holding makes you 2%, you do want to listen to the algorithm a little bit more. In something like SPY, let's take a look at SPY. It should perform better, but SPY has less volatility, so it might not perform better. The algorithm loses you 0.1% versus buying and holding makes you 2.9. So in SPY, it's a little less important. Your levered ETFs on SPY, you're going to probably take a little less look at the 4-hour. Maybe you use the 65-minute. Let's look at the 65-minute algorithm on SPY. We'll run this one. And remember, this doesn't use the MACD. It just uses the 8-day EMA. This one's just not as good either. Buying and holding over 8 months, you've made 13% in SPY. The 8-day EMA loses you 0.9%. So none of the algorithms really work on SPY. So you want to. It doesn't mean you ignore the signal, because a lot of these buy signals in here, like this one, 2% back in March, from March 22nd all the way to April 26th. You want to listen to it because the algorithm does tell you good entry points. It just may not tell you great exit points. For instance, you can see this one, it got you out and got you right back in and then got you right back out. This point right here where you lost confirmation on the 9-day, maybe you got out. So it's more about preference. I use it as a guide, something like, for instance, Apple. Apple's a great example. The algorithm on Apple makes you 21.9%. Let me see. Hold on one second. We're going to run this one. That's the MACD. Let's run this one. The algorithm on Apple makes you 39.5% versus 25% buying and holding over 24.3 months. Now, I do use the algorithm because it has almost doubled just buying and holding. So you heard me say during this period in my retirement account, I trimmed Apple. And the reason to trim Apple was clear. It was because, hey, we probably have a little bit of a downturn here, and I've lost some of my 9-day confirmation. And then, boom, when this got me out, I trimmed a little bit more. So it doesn't mean I got out of my position in Apple just because the algorithm is better. You want to use the algorithm as just one tool in your toolkit. It doesn't mean, I don't listen to it absolutely. If I'm trading, like for instance, Netflix or Sedge or something like that, I should listen to it perfectly, but I don't. So Amy, I know you're new. It's just a guide. It's one tool in a piece of thing. If you want to absolutely listen to the bot, Trendspider is an option. Launch it as trading bot. If you find a stock where the algorithm's just performing over 2 years better than what buy and hold is, maybe you want to launch it as a trading bot. You can easily do that. Launch it as a trading bot. Boom, wham, bang, bing, whatever. I don't trust bots, so I don't listen. I use it as a tool. Unfortunately with Apple, many times, like, it's pulled back a lot. I've been in situations where I just haven't pulled the trigger and gotten out. NVIDIA is another good one. NVIDIA, buying and holding on NVIDIA makes you do 110% over 24.3 months. Now, the algorithm makes you 146% over that. If you shorten the algorithm down to like 500 candles, I'm sure you would, the buy and hold would do better. But NVIDIA has high volatility. So it makes sense to try and limit your exposure per se. It's down at 436. But I will go over some. I was just looking at the Daily Stock Picks core portfolio. And I want to just go over here. Here's Apple. And I'll go over my notes. Apple, MACD cross up. Probably getting you back in. You got your 9-day confirmation. iPhone sales stronger than expected. They are sold out of the 15 Pro Max until I think November. So if you didn't pre-order, you're not getting it. Amazon under 140. You're still in this trade, but you're seeing that button hook that I talk about. You don't have 9-day confirmation. But this is an AI play. I just order from Amazon constantly. I just got, and I went over it with some folks live on YouTube. I just got 4 air filters for my Tesla with some tools. $29 on Amazon. $29. It was great. I'd pay Tesla $80 just to change my filters and give me 2 new filters. And they don't do the spray cleaning anymore because people complained about the smell. So again, Amazon, just a good, solid company under 140. I think you're fine buying it. If you want to wait for it to get confirmation, go ahead. Boeing, I would not buy it here because you can see it's under that 9-day, has no confirmation, but that MACD is super low. The RSI is down at 25. This is a stock that is getting oversold. It has some problems, absolutely has some problems. But I like this stock. And if it gets under 200, I say load up on it because I think it's getting back to 240. It's just going to trade in that range. Devon Energy. We talk about Devon. It's trading at $50. You're going to, this is a chart that I put in yesterday's newsletter. Sell over 50 if you want. Buy under 50. Look, just going back to July. If you bought under 50, this was one gain. And then you sold over 50. This is at July 17th. That's number 2. You made a nice gain right there. You get under 50. You buy here at 48? You sell up here at 53. That's a nice 10% gain. You get out of that one. Then you get back under here, under 50 at 49. That's 2. You're talking about 2 months and you've got 3 or 4 different opportunities to buy under 50 and sell over 50. And it's an energy name. I got 3 emails from people yesterday saying, God, I wish I had gotten into energy. Well, this is a stock that's been beaten up. And the great part about it, like I said, you get a 10% dividend if you just want to sit and hold it. If you just want to buy it under 50 and just hold for a long-term capital gain, you get a 10% dividend while you do it. Eli Lilly, this is one, they don't have many down days, but this one has pulled back quite a bit. Again, I would not probably buy it at this price. I do think that the beginning of this gap at 500 may provide an opportunity for you to start adding. The VWAP right now, if you pulled it back to pre-earnings where we got in, the VWAP is at 530. I think that's where you probably start to see a little bit, but there is a volume shelf here at 557. So I think if you wanted to start a position in this, remember, they have a weight loss drug. That's why this one's going nuts. It could be the greatest single pharmaceutical drug ever sold. And you've got the RSI down at 50. This one all the way back to August, the RSI was at like 83. It got up to like 87. That's crazy. It's just overbought. But it doesn't mean that it's just going to cool off. Meta under 300. It's at 303. I don't think you're doing yourself any disfavor by buying it at 303. You got to get it before these earnings. If for some reason, Powell pauses, boom. I think the market's going to take off. But Meta under 330. Then we got Microsoft. I could talk about Moderna. It went down significantly yesterday. It's back at the 105 level. Well, let's look at Moderna before we get to Microsoft, just so I stay in alphabetical order. It got you out. You have no confirmation. The problem is who's going to take a shot? And the Pfizer CEO or CFO came out and said, hey, there's not a lot of COVID shot demand out there. So they warned about it. Moderna is a one-trick pony, a one-shot pony. So, right now they just have COVID as their main income. Once they get a flu vaccine, they could be better. Now, here's Microsoft. It's under the 200-day for the first time since August. And since this AI rally really started, you haven't seen it touch the 200-day. So do you want to get into it? I think so. There's a gap up here between 345 and 348. This is not one that I would trade. I would say, buy and hold it. Netflix, you're under 400. I like this one to get back at least to this gap. The writer's strike isn't helping them, but if there's one service that isn't going to churn out a significant amount of subscribers, it's this one. I think you're going to see when they announce earnings on October 18th that you're going to have an increase in revenue, blah, blah, blah. This is under the 200-day. The RSI is at 27. The MACD is super low. This is just so oversold. Year to date, it's a crazy stock. It's been good, blah, blah, blah. NVIDIA, 403 might be a level that it actually gets to, but that would be extreme. 403 is back to where it pulled back just after, I think right before the earnings. It was pulled back to 403. Yesterday, it got to 420. If you get down to the 420s, add to this one. I think you're fine. They do have short-term pricing power. The problem is, as we go on, does NVIDIA have the gusto and the pricing power to continue? A lot of people think so. It's just one that you add. I think it got overbought through this close to 500. I sold at 505. I think it got up to like 520 after the earnings. Then it pulled back. Then it went up. It's just in a pullback. The 200 days at 407. I think if you get down there, I think you load up the Brinks truck. I do think when you get to 500, it's a significant resistance level. But NVIDIA, I would buy. Roblox. I mean, by the way, if you want Oxy's getting a 70. I mean, it's energy. Roblox, I like this one to 30. Roblox, you're out with a 3% gain. It just got you out a couple of days ago with a 3% gain. If you're listening to the algorithm, now the algorithm loses you 68%. You lose 64% by just buying and holding. So use the algorithm as you will. I do think that you wait for confirmation to get back into this because that 9-day, you're under it. The MACD is under the oscillator line. The RSI is at 36. It's a little bit weak. Again, if we start seeing something up, you may want to just look at it. Shopify's up down another 2%. You're down below the 200-day. This gap right here, the start at 53, probably comes into play. I would say that this volume shelf here at 57. Let's make sure let's go back to 2 earnings ago. And you're seeing the volume shelf is just kind of the next volume shelf that you see that has some support is 55. This is an $80 stock. I think they got rid of their cost center. It's just run up a little bit. So people are a little bit worried about it. They're making money. I believe they're making money. Let me make sure Shopify is making money. And if they're not making money, they're probably going to make money. Yeah, they're losing $2 billion. They have plenty of cash on hand. They're not going to do a distro. So the average price target, 66. So you're trading at 50. Upgrade August 31st, hold to buy, $70 price target. I think you're getting back there to 80. I think you're fine holding this one. I think you just add to it. Again, in my mind, I own this one, and I believe I have 2 lots. I believe I have one in retirement and one in brokerage. The brokerage I definitely want to hold on to until I am into long-term capital gains. The retirement, I will probably be a little bit more punchy in pulling out around that 200-day. Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla. I heard the best AI system description. So the Dojo system, if you didn't know, the Dojo system is Tesla's AI system that uses visual cameras to drive full self-driving. They don't use LiDAR. Waymo and Cruise both use LiDAR, and experts have said, hey, LiDAR is something that you absolutely need. Elon has said, no, we can do this with visual. And so he basically has vision using this. The best explanation that I've heard, if they get FSD to level 4 autonomy, and they have visual AI, the vertical revenue streams that would come from the Dojo system being able to observe things and get to level 4 is incredible. And the opportunities there, I saw Kathy Wood, she didn't even explain it as well as I read this one. But it's amazing, amazing, the verticals that this could have. Tesla has mentioned robots. Well, if they have visual AI, imagine what a robot could do with visual AI. Could kill everybody. But that's why I say, hey, get this one. And to Amy's point, the algorithm, over 2 years, 24 months, the algorithm makes you 131%. I said it likes volatility. It gets you out at the top, puts you in at the bottom. It loves a chart with volatility, and Tesla has that. If you bought and held Tesla, you're up 9.7%. So in my mind, you do want to listen to the algorithm when it comes about here. Your average win on Tesla is 21%. You win 42% of the time. So you're really only winning 4 out of 10 times, but you're winning 21%. So the goal is, and the key to the algorithm is to make sure that you identify stocks that have volatility with pullbacks, but it also has the ability to take off. And so you're looking at tech sector. Again, the algorithm was built around my own personal portfolio, which is heavy tech, heavy volatility. So that's the key to the algorithm. But speaking of the Tesla, one chart that I really like, and I said, hey, when this gets under 20, I think you absolutely want to pull the trigger on this one. And it did. It got to 21. The algorithm pulled the trigger on 21. I think you're seeing a button hook now. I think maybe you wait until you get to lower $22, but you're in the 22 handle. I do think this gets to $30. If you listen to the algorithm, you're in at 21. You got down to 1962 on August 24th. I think that's a great price to get into this stock. You see the 50-day is starting to turn positive. The 200-day has been positive. And that 9-day, you don't have confirmation. So I would wait a little bit to get in here, but I do think it's a $30 stock. Do not wait. You could buy a little bit here and then buy maybe on the way down. And then dollar cost average your way up to 30. I do think it's getting to a $30 stock. We're getting close to the end of the month. You're at the 19th. They're going to announce monthly deliveries at the beginning of October. I think this is one that goes along with Tesla. I think you'd buy. I don't have this one in the core portfolio. And the reason I don't have this one in the core portfolio is it's super expensive. It is a hype stop, but price to sales is 7.41. They have plenty of cash, and Amazon's a backer. And if you're watching Amazon, they have a ton of RIVN vans. And so they're delivering a ton of commercial vehicles, a ton of consumer vehicles. And I like the stock, and I like the car. I really, really like the car. But RIVN's one that I would say. Uber, it's kind of flattening out between 45 and 46. It's playing with this 50-day. The 50-day is at 45.88. I think that's where you probably wait for it to get under that 50-day, and then you pull the trigger. I like this one here. So there's a look at pretty much the core portfolio, what I think about some of the hot stocks in the core portfolio. One that I have in my trading portfolio, and I have not done well on, is Ulta. And I think Ulta, for me, look out below. I might get out of Ulta and take the loss. And the reason being, here's the algorithm. The algorithm has you in at 417. You're trading at 407. Still has you in. So remember, the algorithm is built around high volatility stocks. This one was not a high volatility stock. It's a consumer stock. It just had a run up post pandemic. I think it's overvalued now, and I think I'd rather go into ELF, which is probably less high volume. I mean, if you go and look at ELF, their forward PE is 44. If you look at Ulta, I mean, ELF's got some hype on its side. Forward PE of Ulta is 15, but Ulta isn't growing. And so, they may have hit a peak. Look at this one. I mean, you're talking about 550. It got way down in June to 407. You're kind of putting in that bottom at 400. My guess is that that's probably a bottom. I just think ELF, in my mind, probably has momentum on its side. It has pulled back as well. This is a $150 stock, but with their sales growing, I've seen some analysts put it up at 170. The target price right now is 149. It got to 139. You're 13% below your 52-week high. Ulta, on the other hand, it may require some dollar cost averaging on that one, but it's a small position. I may get out of it. There's an interesting new ETF that came out. And ETF Edge went over it yesterday, and I'll link to their podcast yesterday with Bob Pisani on Spotify. And it's a new ETF. It's 0-day options. And so you can listen to this one. Bob Pisani with Sylvia Jablonski, CEO of Defiance ETFs. She was interesting, didn't convince me, but this new ETF, let me close this down, is QQQY. And let's see, did it start trading yesterday? I think it may have started trading yesterday, but it doesn't have a lot of candles. I know that. Yeah, it's new. Let's see about the 65-minute. I'll go on this one because we may have more candles. But what this does, this puts off a crazy dividend. She's talking about 60% dividend. And that's what it's back tested to. She said that yesterday. My eyes popped out of my head. But it's 0-day options is what they're doing. And I guess it's not on FinViz. But 0-day options ETFs, they're harvesting premium and using 0-day options to expire. They're unwinding the trade and collecting the premium. Didn't quite fully understand it. I'll include the link to the podcast in the newsletter. Those of you that trade options may be able to help me on this one. But it was interesting to hear her explanation of everything. I liked it. Now, what I didn't like was I think she was selling an ETF, so I take it with a little grain of salt. Last trades last night, I thought this was interesting. Josh Brown loved IEO. This is the U.S. shares, U.S. oil and gas and exploration iShares. IEO is if you want just energy. I mean, IEO, he says it's going much higher, that we're probably going to $100 barrel of oil. So he thinks it's going to continue to go. And he's been actually pretty well with energy. Goldman Sachs, it's interesting because Goldman's card IPO came out. And it priced at the high end of their IPO. Let me see if I have the note. Where's my cart note? I guess I don't have a cart note, but I know they priced at the high end of their IPO. I don't know the price, but everybody's waiting for this one. Essentially, Goldman Sachs, they are involved in the card IPO, and they will make a ton of money. Look at JP Morgan making like $2 billion off of ARM or something. I mean, it was crazy the amount of money that they made. But Goldman Sachs, if this IPO with cart goes well, it may indicate that the IPO window is open, which may push Goldman Sachs back up to the 400s, so close to 400s. You're at 344 right now. You're on this run. You've got confirmation. Like I said yesterday in with the new scanner that I have in Trendspider, where it says, okay, let's find the 50-day within 1% of the 200-day, which means you could find before golden crosses. This is the 50-day moving positive. After this, it could be signaling a golden cross. And so if the 50-day is going to continue to move positive, you'll see a golden cross, which means that it could go up even higher. So there's a REIT, VNQ. One of the traders was talking yesterday about VNQ, which is the Vanguard real estate sector. It's an ETF. She said it's pretty much like a REIT. So it includes all the REITs. Now, what's interesting about this one with Vanguard real estate, you're down 22% in 24 months on this real estate Vanguard real estate ETF. The algorithm makes you 13%. You win 42% of the time. Your average win is only 4.42%. Now, you do take 26 positions, so it's a lot of trading within, about once a month, just a little bit more than once a month, 24 months, 26 positions. Your average win is 4.42%, so it's not a huge win on trading. Plus, you'd have to look at your payouts and blah, blah, blah. But this one was interesting to me. I figured I'd bring it up. Let's talk about Wolf Financial. Wolf Financial, if you guys don't know, you can look them up on Twitter. Pretty successful group. They just launched a weekly watch list within Trendspider. It's their weekly picks. So they're launching that. I don't know that they have back testing. I don't know that they have actual monitoring, but it's interesting. Super, super interesting. I'm following it. I like some of their picks. In fact, notice Enphase is one of their weekly picks here. It's down 1.2%. Overstock, which is down 5%, just a horrible, horrible one. I think they always have. One that caught my eye, Groupon. Let's go look at the Groupon chart because this caught my eye. And this is one that I don't think anybody has been watching per se. GRPN is at least nobody's brought it up to me. But this one is a monster stock. I mean, let's talk about in June, buying at what, $5.38? You got out with 100% gain in September. This has been a monster stock. Still has confirmation. I don't know what's going on with it, but I love that Wolf Financial is kind of, tooting their own horn and pounding the pavement on this one. And I found it through them. So another watch list, another win for Trendspider. Trendspider launched a new assistant, and it's up here in the upper right. Hopefully you can see it. It's Assistant Control K. It's amazing what it can do. The official Trendspider announcement is coming this week. There will be much more detail. Dan did a video about it last week, and I should have known Dan would do a video about it before it's out. He shows you how powerful this is. He basically just said, find me all the ascending triangles within the S&P 500. Didn't have to scan, didn't have to do a tool, didn't have to do anything. He just asked the assistant to do it. And it wrote the code for him. So it wrote the strategy. So if you have a strategy and you want to back test it, you basically just type it into the assistant. So I thought that was amazing. I'll include the link to that video in my newsletter. But the assistant here, let's just Google it. Let's see, Trendspider assistant. Let's see. Yeah. How much did Trendspider pay? 6 salaries. Let's see. Help.Trendspider. Let's look at their, I guess they do have some type of blog on there. I'll include a link to it in the newsletter. But, here it is. Here's the link to it. I have it right in my tweet. The assistant is all about getting things done quickly. Open it, the Control K. The assistant simplifies everything. What the assistant offers to search through a huge list of meaningful actions one could do on Trendspider. These actions vary a great way, from basic things like see a chart for a particular ticker to complex compilations like find full-time frame continuity in Russell 1000 list. Assistants support a wide range of actions and will explain below. Your custom content in the assistant. Yeah. Create a watch list named portfolio. After that, your assistant will be suggesting good options for your portfolio or find triangle breakouts in portfolio. Create a visual script named double top confirmed. Find double top in energy futures. Find double top in portfolio. Create a thing called MACD cross. Create bot MACD Microsoft or MACD Netflix, and it'll give you alerts. It's an amazing, amazing tool. And again, like I said, Trendspider adds crap like this all the time. And they just, they kind of toot their own horn, but they don't raise the price. It's amazing. There is a YouTube video out for Trendspider. It's a new indicator that they have as well called the Super Indicator. I'm going to mute that. Oh, come on, mute. The Super Trend Indicator is a technical analysis tool used to identify market trends and potential entry points in trading. If you plan on using it as standalone or buyer sell signal, you will be disappointed with the results. In this episode technical series, Jason walks you through. This is great at finding trend. It's a super trend. It will find you a trend. Jason walks through it. It's fantastic. watch that one. I'll include it in the newsletter. Here's my cart notes. DoorDash announced new grocery store partners ahead of Instacart's IPO tomorrow. Cart priced at the top of their $28 to $30 price range, valuing the company at $10 billion. Remember, this was like a $500 billion company, something like that during its heyday. AMD, I'll include a chart. Year-to-date anchored VWAP on Trendspider. I'll include that chart. I think I pulled it out of somewhere. I don't have it up on my screen. But it's an anchored VWAP. And every time AMD hits this thing, it tends to bounce off. And it looks like for the last couple of years, it tends to bounce off. I'll include that chart in the newsletter. AMD is not a buy in my algorithm, the 4-hour algorithm. It's continued to slide. I think if this one dips under 100, load up the Brinks truck. I just think AMD is the next one. It's next to NVIDIA. Chips have just seen, everything that's run has been horrible. Let's talk about some social requests. Sam from Facebook. What do you think of Sandbridge Energy? Kind of looks interesting, but it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of coverage. It's a small cap. That's why, and that's what Sam says. Sandbridge SD is the Sandridge Energy is the stock here. The chart looks messy. Typically like every other small cap, chart looks messy. Now it's an energy stock. My algorithm makes you 28%. The buying and holding makes you 45%. You've got volatility in this. You've got a 200-day that's ascending, that's going up. You got a 50-day that's moving down. You just lost all your confirmation. Today it's up 1.16. It's an energy company, so I would say this one's an interesting one because energy with oil and gas, they are making $199 million. Their PE is 2.92, so it's super tiny. It's only up 3% this year. Short interest, 1 million shares, 36 million shares floated. Average target price, they don't have coverage. 2017 was their last coverage. So, you're right. It's small. Insider selling is the biggest thing. President and CEO sold, $76,000 worth on September 6th. So I wouldn't consider that crazy. There's nothing exciting about it. The chart is what it is. What's nice about it went from 11 to all the way up to 16. But you're putting in tops there at 16. Are you buying at 15, hoping that you get back to 15? Nothing super exciting. One that was exciting to me, NextGen Energy. It's a lithium company. And it was sent to me by a friend saying, hey, what do you think of this one? And here's what I said. And I read a couple of these articles, 3 uranium stocks, as nuclear energy gains popularity. I read a few of these tops. Why shares of uranium energy and NextGen popped over 16% this week from Motley Fool. That was from a few days ago. I read those articles. Year to date, NXE is up 42%. Yes, this is a Canadian uranium energy company. Now they're losing $70 million. They have cash on hand, 16 cents. They just did a float, so they just diluted shareholders, 486 in order to gain some money. That's essentially why they did it. It's not covered. Insiders, no insider selling or anything like that. But what I saw was, and this is, again, it's technical versus fundamental. Fundamentally, I'm not putting any money into this because they're losing money. Now, technically, look at this stock chart. This is, you're in at $5.12 and you're at $6. Way back here, May 30th, you could have bought at $3. You've doubled your money since May. And it's gone crazy. And you can see the 50-day. You can see the 200-day. You have confirmation over that 9-day. If you would have bought around here, you still have a super strong, super trend. Maybe that super trend thing would tell us. Their earnings, they lost 3 cents. Earnings here, they lost 1 cent. They're just, what I said to my friend is, technically, I'd trade this. I would not hold on to this one. I think it's long-term, probably got a few weaknesses in that money. Uranium, I think I read that it's at $80 per whatever metric they use, and that's the all-time high. So you've got a company losing money with its core commodity that is at an all-time high, and the stock is at all-time highs. Why would you put money into it? So in my mind, this is a short option. If you wanted to short, if you wanted to buy some puts, I think this one is a great one to come back down to the 200-day. But understand that commodity trading can just F you over. So, but Sam, I would probably go with that one over Sandbridge, just from my take. John from Instagram. First off, thank you, John, for telling me that I posted the incorrect episode yesterday on Spotify. And thank you for listening. John wanted me to go over Merck. Now, here's what I know about Merck. I know they have a weakness in their drug supply. The algorithm makes you just as much money, 50.4% over 24 months. And if you bought and held, you made 50.4%. Now, that's great over 2 years. And it has been a good stock over 2 years. But their portfolio of drugs, my understanding is it's low. It's not as good as Eli Lilly. They don't make as much cash as United Health. And you can see the earnings here, great earnings. And then all of a sudden they lost $2.06. I don't exactly know what happened, but it's a earnings surprise of plus 5%. So everybody was aware of it. It's probably a one-time charge kind of thing. Who knows? But I would expect it to trade in this range and not have the super growth that it's had over the past couple of years. That's my take on Merck. I don't know much else. You can take a look at FinViz if we wanted to take a look at some of the fundamentals. It has been kind of capitulating here. Healthcare has just been a horrible sector. This one's down 2.62% for the year to date. It's got a PE of 88, which is expensive. Forward PE of 12. So they're expecting more earnings to come in. Target price is 124. It's at 108. Its 52-week high is 119, so you're only 9% above that. With a weak group, you can see Citigroup in April, neutral to buy, $130 price target. HSBC put it on hold with a 123 price target. The average price target is 124. So I would be a little bit concerned. I mean, nobody's buying this. They bought in April at 113. They bought, small amounts, nothing huge. I mean, 11 shares. Why is the president of Human Health buying 11 shares? That's crazy. And look at the dollar amounts here. Cost, $109. Let's see. Value, $9 million. Look at the sales. I mean, they're buying small quantities, but they're selling huge quantities, around 100. So my hands are off on this one. I would say Eli Lilly, but with the weight loss drug is probably a better bet. Let's look at scans. First scan that has a cross up is one that I personally own. I don't have an AIA list because I am not crazy about the actual stock, about the service, but Etsy. This was a pandemic winner. I love the company. I love the service. Hate the stock. Why do I still own this one? I have no freaking idea, but I'm in the red on this one. I don't even know what my average cost. Let me see. You know what? You guys can listen for a little bit. We're going to look at the average cost of this one. Because it's an annoying one that I should have absolutely 100% gotten rid of a long time ago. Indices check. NASDAQ is down 0.71. S&P down 0.48. I'm down 0.54. So let's see Etsy. My Etsy, I have 100 shares, and I am down 50%. So it's a fairly decent-sized position. My cost was $12,000. Average cost basis is $127.93. I'm at $63. Horrible money management. It is in an IRA that I don't look at, so I've lost track of it. I bought it. I was way up on it. Like I said, I bought it. Let's see. Let's look at our tax lots on this one. Tax lots. It's in a retirement account, so it's in an IRA. I bought it 11/9/2020. So let's go back to a weekly. And this is the walk of shame. This is equivalent to getting drunk in high school or college, and maybe doing something you're completely embarrassed about. But 11/9/2020. Let's look at this one. Here we go. 130. We went up to 300. And your boy has ridden this one down. Again, I love the company, hate the stock. This has gotten killed, absolutely killed. People aren't using it like they did in COVID. So it's a good example of, hey, I just didn't manage this one correctly, but I'm still holding on to it. Lord knows why. Next, cross up. And I'm not going to buy more. You can see on the weekly, it's got no confirmation. I'm not saying to buy this one. I probably should get out of that and pull my 6,000 and just put it into Apple. And that's typically what I do is when I yank shit out, I'm just like, fuck it, Apple's the safest. So UMDD, this is the Ultra Pro, which means it's 3-time levered on the mid-cap 400. I would be careful of this one. Honestly, it came up on a scan. You can see the entry at 1863. It's trading at 1861 right now. You can see it's just kind of capitulating around the 200-day. This one had a good run. The algorithm loses you 20%. The actual asset loses you 40% over 24.4 months. So the algorithm outperforms, but ultra caps, not my thing. Plus a decaying triple levered asset, not my thing. One that would be mine is if I thought that the Fed is going to raise the SDOW. This is Ultra Pro. So it's triple levered short on the Dow. 2379 is where we got the cross up. I'm not playing any of the triple levered ETFs, by the way. I went over TQQQ earlier, but I am not playing any of these ETFs. Just this came up as a scan, so I'm bringing it up. If you think that the Fed's going to raise tomorrow, I would buy this one. Honestly, I think a triple levered Dow. With the Dow where it's at and kind of, up there, I think that one's a good one. And finally, our favorite Vietnamese EV company of hype. Here you got another cross up. I mean, that MACD is just kind of capitulating. It's a secondary cross up, but again, 1713 was the buy a couple days ago. I think maybe yesterday. 1767 is where we're trading today. So it is up 2%. If you think this one is going to go up, you've got the confirmation above the 9-day. If you want to trade this one, I would suggest on this one, trading on the 65-minute. This is kind of like a, what's that one? The other car company that Joe trades all the time, the hype one. But this is a hype trade. 1735, it's got you in on that one. So the 65-minute algorithm, here's a good example. Makes you 443% over 8 months. Just buying and holding makes you 69%. So you have over positions, 69 positions. Hey, now. Your average win is 13%. You win 38% of the time. So you're really only winning 3.8%, 3.8 times out of 10. So I like that one. Kareem asked me, what do I think about CART today? CART will do what ARM did. And if we bring up ARM on the 65-minute, you'll see what ARM did. I think CART will probably see, Mullen is the Joe stock on the 65-minute. Here's what CART did. ARM did. And I think you're going to see a significant exact test like this. I think you're going to see the day of. So they say they priced at $30. I don't know what they exactly priced at, but they priced at the high range. I think CART today is going to go up probably $35, maybe $40. That's when it opens. Then it opens up to everybody looking at it and looking at the data and then trying to trade it and blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to see it probably pop up for the next couple of days, and then it's just going to go down. If you want to trade this, go ahead and trade it. In my mind, I don't think it's worth it. There's better places to put your money, and there's safer places to put your money. The risk in CART is that they had, they're 30%, 40% down from their last fundraising in the private markets. That's crazy to put money into something like that. Why do you want to put money into something that's actually losing valuation when it's at the high end of its IPO valuation? So Kareem, I'd probably wait for that one. Maybe trade VinFast or Mullen. Like Christian says, Mullen is the one that Joe trades all the time on the 65-minute. And he's had some really good positive, things on this one. The algorithm loses you 36% on this is the 65-minute algorithm on Mullen. If you bought and held Mullen, you lost 99%. And then you have a CEO claiming that it's all manipulated. They're not making money. They're not making money. It's not manipulated. You ain't making money. You don't have cash to actually make the company profitable. You need a long run rate to make a vehicle company profitable. Tesla almost declared bankruptcy. Go and read Elon Musk about how Tesla in 2018, when I bought my car, almost went bankrupt. He was sleeping on the factory floor. He wanted to get a meeting with Tim Cook. Tim Cook would not take his meeting. Imagine if Tim Cook took the meeting and all of a sudden we had an Apple car. Apple turned Tesla around. Tesla turned themselves around, and now they've almost got it. Apple would be a $4 trillion company today because they would have doubled the size of Apple with just Tesla. Now, I don't know if Elon Musk would have stayed out there. Elon Musk is part of the reason that Tesla is what it is. But if he had gotten that thing, just imagine what Apple would do. So there you have the podcast. It's probably a long one. I don't know the exact minute count, but hopefully you listened. Yeah. So if you have any questions, hit me up. There's a couple of places you can hit me up. The Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. This has all my lists. Every link that I have, 25% off Trendspider. If you like the charts that I post, Trendspider's the one. Join Webull. Like I said at the beginning, I tried to get Webull up. OBS does not like it, so I'm going to have to... OBS also blew up on my computer, so I might have to just do some stuff. I'll find a way to get it up here. I do like Webull. I may actually have to buy a new Mac Mini because this iMac just kind of slows down when I run OBS. But I do like Webull. Get their desktop software. I mean, it's really good. Dare I say, it's even smoother than Trendspider. It is not browser-based. It is a desktop software. Make sure you're getting the desktop software and not the mobile software. If you want my daily newsletter, it's free. I basically go over and post all the charts that I've talked about today. It is right here. I do have a paid weekend option, but the daily is absolutely 100% free. That's on Linktree. If you're paying anything more than $30 a month for your phone bill, Visible is just such a great option. I have it myself. Click there. You get $20 off your first month. If you're thinking about buying a Tesla, right here. So you get $500 off and 3 months of full self-driving completely free. I love full self-driving. Now, I don't have it driving me around the cities. Full disclosure. There ain't no way I'm trusting that damn car. The auto wipers can't even turn on during rain. So I'm not trusting the car to drive me around the city. But on the highway, holy crap. Changes lanes, goes around slow drivers, gives the slow drivers the middle finger for driving in the left-hand lane. The car, it does everything that you would do other than the road rage. That was a joke. The road rage it does not have. It just kind of does the driving for you. You can sit back, you can relax, have your hand on the steering wheel. It is unbelievable. If you haven't tried it, I would suggest going to take a test drive and put that on. I just have a friend who said his wife was in a car in the market for a new car. He went out and looked at the price of new gas vehicles, new ICE vehicles, and they are more expensive than the Tesla. He is reluctant to get a Tesla based on him not wanting an electric vehicle. I said there is nothing better than an electric vehicle. Leaving your house with a full tank of gas every day. Never having to go to a gas station and put up with other people's germs on the gas pumps. Look at how many people scratch their ass and then put their hands on the gas pump. Do you want that? I don't want that. It always disgusted me, and I had baby wipes, and yeah, maybe I'm a germaphobe, but that was the most disgusting thing for me to try and do was pump gas. And the other thing is the tech in the Tesla. I love the minimalist. His wife likes buttons. I'm like, does your wife secretly hoard in your closet? And he's like, yeah. So, yeah, hoarders love buttons. So I love the minimalism. I'm not a hoarder. So if you want Tesla, again, they're not paying me. I do get, I think I get charging miles if you use my thing, but you get something too. So it doesn't bother me. Savvy Trader. Follow my Savvy Trader stuff. I am going to trade again. I need to get rid of Ulta. I need to pull Target out of the core portfolio. I need to get rid of Sedge. If you want trading portfolio, it's right here. And you can see my trading portfolio. If I go over to all, we can see DraftKings is above 30. I'm still holding it. I do think that it's got more gas in the tank. AMD, I'm down 7%. I'm going to add more to that. NVIDIA, I'm down 6%. I have no worries about that one. PayPal, a little bit of worry. Netflix, no worries whatsoever. Uber, no worries whatsoever. Meta, I'm up 1%, no worries. Ulta, I may get rid of Ulta. SMCI, no worries whatsoever. Palantir, no worries whatsoever. I would add to that one. Shopify, I'm going to add to that one. Sedge, a little bit of worry. It's down 45%, but I still like it. I still think that the market's just looking at that one wrong. But listen, price is your ultimate thing. So Savvy Trader is there. If you want to tip me because you made some money or I give you a good pick, all my stuff is here with Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all this stuff. If you don't have Venmo, you can sign up for Venmo. Venmo is my preferred one. I really like it. Join our private Facebook group right there. If you want to follow my Twitter with all the stuff that I tweet out about Trendspider and things of that sort right there. Instagram, I'm a little less active on. I need to be more active on. YouTube, you're watching me on YouTube if you're here. But you can always watch my YouTube. Twitch, I'm not real active on. This is Spotify. This is Apple Podcasts. That is the Venmo. This is where you email me. I think we're good. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Ooh, Joe, share that algorithm with me. Send me that link. Send it to me in a message on Facebook or something. And I wonder if I cursed, if they're going to unmonetize this. I don't think so, but we'll see. Who updated to iOS 17? Okay. I got a bunch of texts. Whoa. And Snapchats. Yeah, I'm a 15-year-old teenage girl. Hit the thumbs up button if you're here. I did a lot today. I am going to put this in for Wednesday. I was on fire this morning, sitting on the couch, yelling at the TV, yelling at Mike Pence. You can't tell me Mike Pence is a spineless coward. Not that he didn't do what Trump wanted him to do, but just even taking that job. Guy's not a leader, complete follower. And when they asked him, they said, hey, you're trying to get the message out about your stance on China. On China. You're trying to get the message out. But isn't that message falling on deaf ears because you currently only have a 4% in national polling? Dude's little lip kind of curled, kind of smiled like the robot that he is, and said, well, that's not the problem. It's Bidenomics that's the problem. The 4% will make up our strategy, and we'll get back these voters. The voters have to understand they're just making bad decisions. Yeah, blaming the public that wants to vote, doesn't want to vote for you. Yeah, that's a good strategy. It's like me saying, douchebags, you guys got me into Sedge. Got me feeling too confident in myself. Market is way down. Disney. Boy, the market does not like them spending $65 billion on their parks. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go get my laptop. Is everyone okay? We have got to. Oh. Let's see. Hopefully this works. Clean up. There we go. I'm going to move that up. And then what the hell is that? Oh, I don't understand why that one. Move to trash. Okay, 918, we're going to move that to trash. 919, share. Airdrop. MacBook Pro. Waiting. Why is it waiting? There we go. Oh, come on. Transfer over already, will you? Why is it going slow? Receiving. I think it's this damn iMac. I don't think Apple stuff is working very well on Intel chips, and I've got an Intel chip in this iMac. Wonder if I could, well, no, I couldn't buy a new chip, I guess. I do love this iMac, though. I wish they sold a super big screen iMac still. But it's clear they want the mini. Come on, keep moving. Keep moving. Let's see. I'm going to turn off the do not disturb. And let's see. Okay, receiving a video. Sent. Received. Okay. We're going to move that over here. And we're going to close that. Okay. I am out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.